All right, everyone, welcome back to another how-to video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to quickly fix the pull cord on your mower for less than $7. So don't throw that old mower away just yet, as I'll show you what you need to get it fixed, how to fix it, and get it back up and running like new. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, as far as what you'll need for this project, you are going to need a new pull cord. So this particular one, like I said, is just $7 and I got it off Amazon. I will link it on the description below so you know what exactly we're working with. You will need a flathead screwdriver and then some needle nose pliers. These will help with pulling the old cord out. And then these are going to be mower specific. In our case, we just need a 10mm socket. However, depending on your mower, you may need a Phillips, but these are your essentials and these are your maybes. So now that we have what we need, let's go ahead and get started. Now, every mower is going to be different, but the overall concept here will be the same across the various brands. To start, we'll need to remove the pull cord housing, which is found on the top of the mower. In our case, we have three 10mm bolts, which we'll remove with our socket set. Once the nuts are off, you can just pull the spool off the top of the mower and take it over to your workbench. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Once the nuts are off, you can just pull the spool off the top of the mower and take it over to your workbench. Okay, now that you have your cord spool here on your workbench, if you look here on the side where the opening is, so this is where the cord would come out of, you should be able to see your wire. Might be a little bit hard to see here on the camera, but what you want to go ahead and do is spin this little housing until you find the end of where your cord broke off. So in our case, it's right here. And once you find your tail, go ahead and grab your pliers. Or if you can do with your fingers, that's great too. Go ahead and pull the tail out. And then you're just going to want to pull the cord all the way out. So this will spin. It shouldn't retract because at this point the tension on the spring is completely gone. So once you pull it all the way out, you should be able to wiggle it and you should see where the old knot is. So go ahead and pull this all the way out, as we're not going to be using this guy anymore. Okay, so with your spool clear of the old rope, we're going to go ahead and reset the inner spring that's in here. So in our case, we're going to turn this counterclockwise. You are going to feel a little bit of tension, and you just want to keep going until the spring here, or the inner housing, stops spinning. Now, if you're just spinning, nothing's happening, it just means you're going in the wrong direction. But like I said, you should feel this guy get a little bit tighter, and eventually it's going to stop spinning. If you just let go slightly, it should start to want to unravel itself. So once again, just go ahead and spin it all the way, and then you actually want to stop it at the right spot as well. So if you can see here, there's the hole for where our knot has to go through. So you do want to kind of line it up with this slot right here, as we're going to be feeding our new cord through here into that hole. So just go ahead and line your knot hole up with this, as that's our working area. Go ahead and take your flathead screwdriver and slot it in between the spring and the ventilation holes to prevent your inner spring housing here from unraveling. Okay, now go ahead and grab your new cord, and as I said, you want to make sure everything's lined up. So we're going to go from the outside of the housing in. So go ahead and feed it through the outside, and then we're going to try to get it into the hole that's there. So this might be a little bit tricky. It might take a little finagling. But as you can see, it came out through that hole. Let me see if I can get you a better shot here. There you go. Take this, and you're going to go ahead and tie a knot at the end of this rope. Nice and tight, just a simple rope, nothing fancy. Go ahead and pull, and that sets your initial rope. All right, once you have that set up, go ahead and carefully take out your little makeshift stop that you got going on. Hold the rope on the end and let go of the spool and let it slowly walk its way back in. So as you can see, I was kind of walking the rope back. I actually didn't realize that the other end of the rope was catching on my workbench and it wasn't spinning. So once you let it do its thing and it kind of has reached its end, you can kind of feel, because it won't pull any more cord out, you are good to go. So let's go ahead and put this guy back on the mower. Now don't worry so much about the extra rope, as that is gonna get fed through right here, and then we'll trim it when the time comes. So go ahead and seat it properly, and let's go ahead and get the handle attached. All right, then go ahead and grab the handle that came with the kit. Grab your other end of your rope, feed it through the handle, pull that rope through, pull it snug, and then you're gonna wanna tie your knot as close as possible to here. So we'll do that. And then before you go cutting any rope, just make sure everything works. So we'll just do a small kind of knot right there to give it a yank, and then we'll test it out before we go ahead and cut anything. Now once you're all set, give it a good rip and admire your work. And if everything's working, all you gotta do is come back here, cut off the excess, and you are good to go. So without further ado, let's see if this worked. Now once you're happy with where the knot is, I did forget to record this, but pretty much you tie your knot, you cut off the ends, and then you would just use a regular lighter to melt the last bit of frayed material that's out there. Since it is a synthetic material, it should melt and seal your rope for you. And there you have it. That's how easy it is to fix the pull cord on your mower. If you found the video helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, and drop me a comment down below if you get stuck or have any questions. As always, we'll see you around for the next one.